Okay.
It's an hour away. What else are you doing now? You're all in quarantine. We are here, and I know that we said we were going to be here with Blake Bauman, but we did you one step better. We are here with his lovely wife, Trisha Cicero. How are you, Trisha?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, and Blake will be here. He's just he's having some difficulties soon. But Trisha, you and we'll wait. We'll talk about Blake when he gets here. But tell us what you're up to lately, because I follow you on Instagram. I see you doing a lot of cool stuff on there, and it looks like you're making the most of your quarantine time. So tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Please.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay busy. You know, you have to right now. But basically, my background is, I've been doing martial arts for the past 22, 23 years. And I've been teaching martial arts for years. And then I later got into personal training besides my fighting career. So when I'm not fighting, when I'm not in a training camp, I usually ramp up on doing personal training sessions and teaching classes. However, during the quarantine, that hasn't been possible, obviously. So what I decided to try this time is a personal training app that I've been doing called Fit as a Fighter that I created. So every day they get a workout in their app. I can help them with nutrition. Obviously, I have a lot of experience cutting weight, being coached on nutrition myself and, doing my own studying with it. So it's been going really great. It's really fun. It's a neat project for me to get into right now when there's really not much else going on. So it's been nice.
So back up a second. You have it's an actual app that you have?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't create the app. I'm not a techie or anything, but it's an app for personal trainers. You can get on the platform and you can put on your own content. You can use your branding and everything. So I was able to create it with my program and really make it personalized to my own. So.
And if people wanted to, that's in the Apple App Store?
It's something that I send to them personally. So, you would just message me, or if you go to my Instagram, there's a link in my profile, and you can download the app either through, if you have Android or Apple, I think it goes through the Play Store or the Apple Store.
Excellent. And what's your Instagram again? We'll run that along the bottom of the screen.
At Trisha Cicero, just my first and last name. Nice and easy.
Okay. You know a guy named Paul Collins Gamboa?
Maybe.
He wants to know where Blake is.
Okay. He's coming. He's coming. He'll be here soon. He's a little tied up.
Tied up?
Yeah.
That's what you want to tell everyone?
Not by me. Not that kind of
All right. I'm just messing with you. So yeah, and I also see I've seen the nutrition stuff also that you post on Instagram, and it's good stuff. So if anyone's looking to get fit out there during this quarantine time, definitely check out Trisha's Instagram.
Thank you.
But your fight was canceled because of this whole lockdown.
Yeah.
You were supposed to fight on the last card with what was the name? The Shamrock Showdown, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was supposed to be March 17th, the Shamrock Showdown, and it was supposed to be at the Hard Rock. I was 1 week out when I found out the event was canceled. Unfortunately, I kind of had a feeling because things were starting to get a little hairy out there. This was in the beginning of March. And I was really praying that we would just make the cutoff. And unfortunately we didn't. So the fight was originally postponed for, I think at first it was pushed to the end of May. And then obviously things weren't quite cleared up and more things kept getting pushed back. So now it looks like we're rescheduled for the end of June. I don't have a location, but I do know my opponent is still game to fight. So props to her. She's saving the date still. So we're going to fight eventually, just whenever the date and the venue is secure.
And who is your opponent supposed to be?
Her name is Jamie Milanowski. She's out of Alabama, I believe.
Jamie Milanowski out of Alabama. Okay. Well, yeah, it's good that you're still going to be fighting the same person. I mean, there's 3 local cards this month, so next month it should be, I think they everything all figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing 2 shows. It looks like. Well, one show. The next XFN is going to be down at the Goat Shed in Miami, and
Wow.
they're going to, there's not going to be an audience, of course, but they're going to put it on there, and they'll have the kids and they'll televise it through Flow Combat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be cool. So we're still going to get to see some MMA action, even though we're stuck in the house.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So
what got you into the fighting game?
Well, like I said, I've been doing martial arts since I was a kid. So I always loved the sparring part. I started in Kempo karate. You would have days where you went and you did your katas and your weapons.
One,
you had
two.
Yeah, pretty good.
Right.
And then you had the sparring days, and those were the days that my dad happened to come and watch more often. So, and I'd get like in the car, I'd get the coaching on the way home. Oh, you should have kicked this boy's butt. Why didn't you knock him down? Oh, you gotta. So I think that really, like, psychologically, just it made me more motivated to, and I think it's something internal for all fighters anyways. We all have that little craziness in us. So I always loved that aspect of it. I did a exhibition kickboxing fight when I was 14, did some in-house type tournaments with karate. And then I did at the War Memorial. I don't know if you guys were around down here for the Warriors Collides back like in 2006. I did a
Fight time, Warriors Collides?
Not Fight Time. It was Warriors Collide.
Warriors Collide. Yeah,
Heather Cooperman and I forget the other gal's name that ran it. But I did a kickboxing amateur fight then. However, at that time, MMA wasn't legal in Florida. This was 2006. I really wanted to get into MMA, but it wasn't looking like a realistic opportunity. And even where it was legal, still, there was no Ronda Rousey. She was not in the UFC at that time. There was Chris Cyborg and some other random female fights going on, but it was not looking like something that could be a career path. So at that time, I was only 20, 21 years old, and I decided to focus more on my career. I was trying to open up a martial arts school at that time. So I decided to focus more on teaching, training my students, and I just kind of put it on the back burner. And fast forward about 6 years later, I had a chance to start training at American Top Team. And I kind of caught the bug being around all of the girls that were really getting into their careers. So then I decided, why not? It's never too late.
Wow. And like you said, American Top Team, at the American Top Team you started training at.
Yes.
The original.
The original, which is like the only fighters now getting training on a daily basis, because some of them actually live there.
Yeah.
They might have a little bit of an advantage if they're going to be on this fight card this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really lucked out, the people that live in the dorms there, because they can't, how can they tell you not to train in your own house?
Yeah. The Goat Shed said they had a couple of people, show up for some, social distancing, and the police came. They said it's too,
wow,
you can't be here.
Yeah.
Wow. So AT&T, they have cars in the parking lot as well, but they stopped by and they said, okay, I guess you guys live here, so
yeah,
what are we gonna do?
And I think they're taking the precautions also. Yeah. I know the training's very organized, where you have to stick to the same training partner, whoever you're doing your camp with right now. It's all separate training. It's not our normal 80 people in the wrestling class type of thing right now. So, we're taking the precautions for sure.
Right. Now, did you grow up in Florida?
No, I'm from Syracuse, New York originally.
Okay, so Syracuse, New York, 22 years ago, the only martial arts available was probably Kempo or Taekwondo, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day. There was just nothing, there were no MMA gyms,
No.
And it was either Kempo karate, Taekwondo, or like a real karate, kind of school with a real either Japanese, instructor, or some kung fu school or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was it, so it really took off. So did you get into where you moved down to Florida and then you started training in MMA down here?
I was very fortunate. The chain of martial arts schools, we had 12 locations maybe a few less at that time before I moved to Florida. I had moved down when I was 17, partly the weather, partly, I just thought there was more opportunity down here, which I think there is, than upstate New York. And the weather's a lot more bearable. And I had some friends down here already. So at first I thought, no, maybe I'll go to college part-time and then I'll still teach at the karate schools down here because they had in New York and Florida the same chain. And so that's how I came down here originally. But before that, I was very fortunate that our main instructor at that time, he had more of that Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee mindset where he was always trying to evolve. So even though we were a Kempo karate school, he, back in the 70s was fighting Bill Superfoot Wallace in tournaments. And if he lost in a tournament to somebody who did Taekwondo, he would say, okay, maybe I should teach Taekwondo. Maybe I should learn that too. He did the same thing with Krav Maga. He brought Krav Maga into our system when he realized, okay, this is a very superior form of self-defense to maybe karate.
What was his name?
His name was Steve LaValle. It was LaValle's Karate Schools. So then eventually we added in jiu-jitsu. We were cross-training with the Valente brothers under Ilio Gracie lineage. So I had a nice little mix of everything before I ever got into MMA, which was good. It was a good foundation.
That's awesome. So you've really been at this like your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, I did fight amateur for XFN, and I had 4 fights with XFN. I was undefeated and the flyweight champion for XFN. And then now I'm 3-3 as a pro. Had a little bit of a rocky start, but I'm coming off of 2 wins right now. So hoping to keep that coming. Shout out to Danny K, XFN.
Awesome. Yeah, he heard you say that. There he is. Go Taekwondo. Yeah, my nephew just got his black belt in Taekwondo, and now he thinks he wants to do some jiu-jitsu. He's 18 years old now. But he's like, wait a minute, I'm not graduating from high school. We're not having our high school graduation. He's not having his prom. He doesn't know if he's going to be able to go to college. He's like at the worst possible age to have all this stuff going down.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, but this show isn't about him. It's about you. So
it's about me, but he's not here, so
yeah, it's about Blake. So I'm gonna.
You trained with the Gracies, huh?
Not with the Gracies, no. The Gracie lineage. So the Valente brothers were under the Ilio Gracie lineage. And then it was actually quite a shift for me when I started at American Top Team, because when I was starting at American Top Team in the beginning, taking the classes with Junior Fernandez, with Ailton Barbosa, Master Pahumpa, that's the Carlson Gracie lineage. So right. It's a very different style of jiu-jitsu. Even if you just look at Ilio Gracie and Carlson Gracie, it's just very opposite. So I did have a foundation with jiu-jitsu, but I quickly learned it was very different. And I had a lot of catch up to do in the beginning.
Right.
What's like the main difference between Ilio's style and Carlson's style?
Ilio's style, I believe, is more self-defense oriented. Ilio was one of the smallest of the Gracies, and his philosophy was more, if you don't beat me, if I survive, then I win. Because he was a smaller guy. If he was fighting somebody that was 200 pounds heavier than him, it was about survival. From what I've learned so far about, the Carlson Gracie lineage, it's more that pressure game, pressure, pass, win, very competitive style, great for tournaments, for MMA, for fighting, obviously for self-defense also, but definitely I think more of a competitive type of jiu-jitsu style, a very, very pressure style. So when I came in and I was just kind of being very like blasé, oh, somebody mounted me, but I'm not getting choked out. They were like, oh, what are you doing? You need to move, So I was a little bit too calm, a little too self-defensy in the beginning, 6 or 7 years ago. But now, 3 years of training, it's definitely picked up a lot more.
Excellent. So what was it like going from the Kempo to the full contact kind of training? That must have been a big change for you.
Yes and no. Like I said, we were always kind of blended. It wasn't, I didn't do like point style karate. We were doing full kickboxing sparring, and I did kickboxing fights and things like that. So it was pretty full contact. I would say the biggest shock for me was going from fighting in gloves, boxing gloves, to MMA gloves. That was a huge shock. Even like sparring just doesn't compare to getting punched in the face as hard as you can with a 4-ounce MMA glove. It's just, you can't prepare for it until it happens in the ring, I feel like, in the cage. So that was a huge shocker. But going from Kempo to mixing everything together is kind of what I had done. It just became more refined and more detailed and, just more intense.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. But this is your chosen career now. So you obviously got used to getting hit with the smaller gloves, and it's not a problem. It's no big deal.
Yeah, it's not great. Nobody likes getting hit in the face, and try to avoid it, trying to get better at not getting hit in the face. So, that's part of it. But yeah, you get used to it. Yeah.
And you're also training do you still train with Maureen Shea?
I do. Yes, I love Maureen. Yes, it's been amazing. Actually, I had never, before I started training with Derek Santos and training along with Maureen, I'd actually never done just pure traditional boxing sparring in a boxing ring. That was really the one thing I've never done before. Obviously, we work elements of boxing and things like that in MMA and 3 years of karate, but to be in that little boxing ring and no knees, no kicks, no takedowns, no escape besides your boxing and your head movement. That was a big eye opener. So I love it. It's been great.
Yeah, that must have been quite a change also. But she'll teach you head movement. She'll teach you how to get out of the way.
Man, she's incredible. She's incredible.
And I gotta tell you, I told her I'd say this. She will teach you how to go to the body also, because you see a lot of female boxers and they just punch to the head. They don't go to the body. And we were interviewing our guest last night, and she's like, "Yeah, it's all punches to the head." And I'm thinking to myself, most women do punch to the head, but not Maureen. She'll teach you how to go to the body.
Oh yeah, she does.
And how to move your head, so so you can avoid those shots also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting look between them and Derek and down there at ATT. The world is your oyster. Are we going to see you in the UFC one day or what?
I'm trying. Yeah, we're working on it. The goal is to win these next few fights. And get to 4-3 or 5-3 and be ready for the call. If there's a contenders or, a fight that I can jump into soon after that, that's the idea. So obviously coronavirus kind of delayed things. I would have, been maybe trying to prepare for my second fight this year instead of just the first one in June. But it is what it is. So everybody's kind of in the same boat. We just have to kind of make up where we can later on in the year.
I hear you. I just got a text in from Blake here. He's trying to get out and get on as soon as he can, so he'll be here. But yeah, imagine that. So Steve, if Trisha does make it to the big show, the UFC, we have to get in there. We got to get in there.
Let's go.
We have to cover that for the fighting
distancing.
Yes.
I wear my my Blake bandana.
That's a Blake Davis bandana. Yeah.
Davis bandana.
Nice.
Yeah.
You might need something more medically, suitable. But what do I know? I would go in with the pink bandana too.
So it's Cinco de Mayo today, May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I got my straight vodka drink. Thank you.
Nice.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's very. You're supposed to drink tequila.
It's mixed
or Corona.
With tequila. It's mixed with tequila.
You mix vodka with tequila. Who
Water,
do I hang out with here, Trisha? What's going on? The guy's not going to be alive by the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Take it easy over there. Take it easy.
So we have a MMA family that you're married, right?
Yes.
And how'd you meet your husband?
Well, it's actually a great story. We knew of each other at the gym, but as you guys know, American Top Team is so huge. not just the current fighters, but there's fighters that aren't there because they're not in camp or they're not fighting anymore, but they still pop into training. There's regular students. There's just so many people. So you could be passing by people in the gym all the time and obviously not know who they are, or just know of people. So that's kind of, we knew of each other just from being in the gym. And as you guys probably know, Blake does the commentating for XFN.
Yeah.
So I was fighting for XFN, and it was my third fight. It was the fight I had for the belt, for the flyweight belt. And I met him really for the first time officially when he was at the weigh-ins, where they go around the commentators, and they ask like, oh, what do you want me to say on the mic? Anything else you want to add? Sometimes you fill out sheets and then they kind of ask you to add to it. And I remember I was just so like miserable, you're waiting to weigh in. It takes forever. You're hungry. So I wanted not that I was like ignoring him. I was mean to him, very rude, probably.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's, you're cutting weight. You don't want to talk to anybody. I said, just say whatever it says on the sheet, But then after the fight, obviously I was very happy. I won the belt. And funny enough, my family was watching in New York. And when I called my dad afterwards, he loved watching it online. XFN always has awesome streams. And the first thing he said was, oh my God, that commentator, he was hilarious. Oh my God, it was so great. You got to go back and re-listen to it. Oh my God, and he was going on and on about the commentating more than my fight. And then from there, we just kind of started chit-chatting after the fight, and the rest is history. So that's how we met.
First date, what was the first date like?
The first date?
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. Yeah, we went to Seasons 52. So
first date?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was a low calorie first date.
Walked around Meisner Park, and
wow,
it was very nice.
Great first day. He must have liked you.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't McDonald's trip.
No.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So when did you know? When did you know he was the one?
It didn't take us too long to know, honestly. It didn't. We really clicked, and I think it's great for both of us that we're both involved. We have the same passions. We support each other, and that can be the hard thing in this career, being a fighter and finding somebody who understands our crazy lifestyle, our crazy schedule. When you're tired, you're hungry, you're cutting weight, nobody wants to deal with that. So yeah. I think it's hard. So it's really amazing when you have somebody who's supportive, who understands, who can like deal with all of that. So, but then, we can still enjoy when we're not in those modes and enjoy life together as well. So it's been great.
Yeah. And you've been married. You haven't been married that long. Didn't you just get married?
Last summer. Mm-hmm.
Over the summer.
Yep. Yeah, we went to Vegas, had a nice Vegas wedding. It was great.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. We wish you the best of luck there.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's panicking right now because I told him that we were talking about your first date. He's like, oh no. So I'm like, well, you got to get in here,
That's right.
Yeah, so what you were saying about the commentating, when you're at the show, you never hear what the commentators are saying. You just can't hear them, even if you're standing right next to them. You still can't. You could maybe one word every once in a while. It's just
he's very good at. I've actually caught him doing this over the years. I don't want to get him in trouble, but I know sometimes he does kind of try to coach through his commentating. So let's say I'm like up against the cage and I'm near him while he's commentating, he might be trying to coach the person. What Trisha will want to do here is she'll want to really step her foot up. And so, he tries to do that a little bit to help out whoever when he can. But yeah, you're right. It's hard. It's chaotic. It's loud. There's a lot of craziness, but it's always great to listen to him. Even when you can't hear it live afterwards on the recordings, it's, he's great. He's really great at it.
Did you go to the last event XFN had where it was on a stage?
I did not. No, I didn't get to make it to that one.
Yeah, so he was all the way in the back, basically backstage. So he wasn't too close to the ring. You wouldn't have been able to hear him.
But he is a true professional, and he loves to rewatch his commentating. He likes to rewatch the fights just so he can watch as a fan. So if I can't make it to any XFN events, I'm always watching the replay with him on Flow Grappling. So I can hear his commentating with him. I can watch the fights. I love watching some of my teammates who are amateurs and just some of the other up-and-coming talent, because I think we really do have some of the best up-and-coming talent in the nation here in Florida. I think South Florida is just a great growing place for fighters.
For sure. And
without a doubt.
You mentioned
yes,
that
I totally
you fight at American Top Team in Sunrise.
I'm sorry?
In Sunrise? In Cocoa Creek.
I train at both. I train in Sunrise and Coconut Creek, actually.
Right. So when you walk into Coconut Creek and you see like 50 belts and, Amanda Nunes' belt right there, Johanna's belt, and all these women fighters that, made it to the big show. Is that what you're inspired to be like?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
It's so inspiring to share the mat with them, to see their work ethic every day, to what got them to that point. It's pretty cool. I see sometimes on my Facebook memories will pop up, and I saw one the other day. I think it was from 5 years ago. And I was sparring with Amanda, and I'll put sparring in quotations because she's so light years beyond me that if she's sparring with me, it's maybe she's just trying to get back in shape and she's just pitter pattering with me. But for me, it's the hardest sparring of my life. That's kind of what it's like sparring with Amanda. But she's amazing. So it's just cool to look back and see from 5 or 6 years ago before she was the champion, and just to remember what it was like seeing her attitude and her work ethic leading up to that. I mean, she knew from the first time I remember meeting her at ATT, she had that target on the belt. She had that target on Ronda Rousey long before she even had a title shot. So it's pretty cool to see. And same with Joanna and all the amazing women I train with.
I remember Amanda from a long time when Josh Sandman was fighting, and she was used to train with them. And she just went straight up. And it's when you surround yourself with greatness, it makes you work 10 times harder, and you see all the success, and you see these people, they're on the wall of the gym, and you're training with them. It's surreal. It really is.
And for female fighters, I think ATT down there in Coconut Creek I can't think of a better place anywhere that has more good female fighters than ATT down there.
So speaking of ATT, we have a fight this weekend.
Yes.
UFC.
We do.
249 is in Jacksonville, Florida. It's going to be the first UFC event since the shutdown, since the Corona stay at home. They're not having
lockdown, quarantine, call whatever you want.
Quarantine, call whatever you want. They're not having spectators. Just doctors, ambulance, police, and coaches, and maybe a couple photographers, and someone from your gym's fighting, Charles Rosa.
Yes.
So how have you seen him in the gym? Have you?
I mean, Charles Rosa is incredible. He's been training hard this whole time. I don't think I ever see him not training hard. So even before this fight was announced, he was, he was going at it full force. So yeah, very, very excited to see him fight. I love the matchup. I think it's going to be it's Bryce Mitchell, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Those guys, I mean, you're not going to want to blink for sure. Rosa is, he's a gamer. He's going to be there to fight, whether it's on the feet, on the ground. And I think that Bryce is the same, right? I mean, he's a scrapper. He's wild anywhere the fight goes. So it's going to be exciting.
I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, he always puts on a good show, and he's got a great work ethic, like you said. Greg Hardy's going to be on that card too, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. He's at your gym also. What do you think?
Anyone else from ATT that I can think of?
I don't think so for this one, but I know I don't know which days, but I know Mara is fighting, my friend Mara Borello. Okay. And then I think she's fighting Courtney Casey. I don't know if it's the 13th or the 16th. And then Christoph Joko, he's fighting Eric Anders. Again, I don't know which card it is, but I know those are the other people. I'm sure. Oh, Edson Barbosa, I know is fighting soon. Yeah, we got a handful of people getting ready this month.
So, who's your main trainer? You have a strike trainer, a condition trainer. Like who are your main trainers over there?
Yeah, my main coach at ATT would be Pahumpa. Master Pahumpa Damata. So he's really in charge of my camps there, my jiu-jitsu training, MMA, all that stuff. But obviously I train with all the coaches. So Mike Brown, I love training with when I can. And, all of the coaches there are amazing. And then for my striking, I split between, I do my full striking with Roger Crawl at ATT Sunrise. And then I've been adding in the boxing, like you mentioned, with Derek Santos. With over there at Boca Pal. So trying to work on my hands a little bit. Yep. And then my conditioning is at Symmetry Fitness, which is a gym in Fort Lauderdale. I've been a part of for about 5 or 6 years now. My trainer, Ahmed, he's phenomenal. So we have a small group there that we train, and he really has us dialed in for the last 5 years. So it's great.
Wow.
Yeah. How often do you get to the Boca Pal?
I'm just starting back this week, actually. So I'm excited. But I try two to 3 times a week is what I try to do. It can be hard to fit everything in, honestly. I know all MMA fighters can agree with this. You can't do everything every day, but you have to get your MMA training in. You have to get jiu-jitsu drills in. You have to spar twice a week. You have to do your conditioning at least twice a week, working on your specific boxing 2 to 3 times a week, your full striking drills a couple times a week, wrestling practice. And rest, and then rest and sleep. And if you work also, so it's a lot.
Do you work with one of the strength and conditioning coaches down there?
Not at ATT, no. I go to a separate gym. Like I mentioned, his name is Ahmed. It's at Symmetry Fitness. Okay. So yeah. So he's been training me and a handful of other local fighters down here. We've been with him for a while. So I really have my full trust in him. And I've never had a bad weight cut. I've never missed weight. I always feel strong and healthy. So, I like to stick to that.
I saw awesome. Michael Brown fight at the Hard Rock against Uriah Faber at WEC.
Wow. I remember watching that on TV. Yeah. Yes. So one of my favorites.
Wow.
What year was that?
2006, right? Something like that.
It was a while. It was the weekend
06,
she
07.
passed away. The weekend she passed away was a fight there at the Hard Rock.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a while ago. But yeah, so I've known Mike since then. I mean, it's crazy, and he is a great trainer. I mean, he and everyone loves him. So it's a good. He was there. He's been there. He knows. He knows like every single wrestling move that there is. He knows every single. He knows everything. So you're
he's incredible.
Company there, and then Derek also as well. We know, he's training professional boxers, that have belts and stuff. It's another great trainer. So you put yourself with training with the best. You're gonna go far.
Yes.
And you got a husband that you can kick his ass anytime. It helps.
We've been doing a little quarantine training here and there.
Quarantine training.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Do you have a gym set up in your house or anything?
We have some mats. Yeah, we have a bunch of random stuff around the house. And then because of the quarantine and starting my Fit as a Fighter program, I kind of remodeled the patio into my own little personal training filming studio type of thing. So we have mats out there, and so sometimes we do kitchen boxing, and we we grapple around and stuff. So it's good.
Kitchen boxing.
Yeah, sometimes boxing happens in the kitchen. It's normal, right?
Yeah. Stop, flip the eggs, turn around, throw a right cross. I understand that. Sure. Just put the utensils down before you throw the hands. And make sure the stove's not on.
Yeah.
But that's that element of danger, though. I like it. I like it personally.
Matt.
Steve.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So Trisha, 4 favorite MMA fighters, male or female, retired or not retired.
That's a tough one. You're putting me
on the spot. Your husband can't be one.
Put me on the spot. Well, I would have to say, I mean, I'm a little biased because some of them I get to train with, right? But also as a fight fan, definitely my 2 favorite female fighters, who I look up to and who I like to rewatch their fights before I fight would be Amanda Nunes, obviously.
Yeah.
I think she's got to be at the top of anybody's list, male or female. Obviously she's the GOAT. And then obviously Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and I've had the honor to train with both of them. So it's like that inspiration that goes both way. I was a fan of both of them before I ever got to train with them, which is cool. And then once training with them, it's even more inspiring to see how they train, but also just to see their mindset. I love their fights. It gets me pumped up. Right. I would say as far as besides that, I was always a huge GSP fan. Love GSP.
There you go.
And again, back in the day, like Leo Machida, early on, Chuck Liddell. Now I'm going beyond my 4. See, I can't just pick 4.
Okay. Well, you gave us.
Yeah,
5. That's good.
Yeah. So those are some good ones. But now I mean, there's so many that I love. It's hard for me to narrow it down, but those are some top ones.
Yeah, Joanna's last fight was one of the best female fights I think I've ever seen.
So incredible.
That was, I mean, both of them just they put everything they got, they put in that cage. That was incredible.
And that's how she trains all the time. That's the cool thing, is that anybody who's trained in the room with her knows she does not stop. She does not get tired. When she gets tired, she pushes harder. When we're in a wrestling class and everybody's rotating around with everybody, and those Mako Mondays are grueling. They're very grueling. It's the hardest day of the week with Steve Mako. It's rough. And when everybody else is dead tired and everybody's leaning against the wall and getting a drink of water in between rounds and laying on the floor, like you're dying, you can't breathe, she's still going. And she's going faster. She's going faster, and she's going harder. And she's mad that everybody else is taking breaks. And it's funny now, we've been watching The Last Dance, and a lot of those things I see, the scenes of Michael Jordan, getting like pissed off at some of his teammates that are slacking off. We've all heard the stories of how he was. I kind of see a lot of that with Joanna, that she's the type that she's going to try to bring up everybody around her. If she's training with you and she feels that you're tired, she's going to say, come on, bitch, keep going. Let's go, push harder. She's going to try to like snap you out of it because she knows it's going to bring out the best in everybody. So that's a really cool part. And so that's why it's no surprise for me to see that in her fights because that's just how she is every single day in training.
Strawweight and flyweight?
She's been at strawweight. She did go up to flyweight once, but she's been at strawweight.
And you're fighting
flyweight.
Flyweight, yeah. So
with Joanna, before her fight, there was that perception that she was just hanging out on the beach all the time because that's what she was posting on her Instagram. And I think Dana White even took a jab at her and said, Joanna's she's not training hard for this fight or whatever. I think that was a brilliant strategy on her part. And some fighters, they put up all their training videos, and I'm like, why are you doing that? If your opponent, whoever it is, and if it's MMA or boxing, whatever, like they're just going to watch that and they're going to see your strengths and your weaknesses. I think your strategy was the best. Putting up all those pictures of her on the beach in the bikini and all that. Oh yeah, she's not training hard.
Man, it's a very smart strategy what she did. And honestly, I mean, you can show what you want to show through social media, right? I mean, social media is not real life. You can post one picture a day, one moment of your day, but there's still 23 other hours of the day where you can be doing a whole different thing, right? So, she's grinding like everybody, 4 or 5 hours a day. And, besides all of the recovery, the other things you need to do, the PT, the conditioning. So yeah, I mean, obviously she was training. She was not just hanging out at the beach, but also there's nothing wrong with taking a rest day at the beach, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we are in Florida.
So are you strictly an MMA fighter, or tomorrow you get a phone call from one of the local bare knuckle companies and they said, "Hey, we want you to fight." Are you a fighter or strictly MMA?
Well, it would depend on the situation. Mm-hmm. Right now, obviously, my focus is to get to the UFC, and I don't want to take anything that's going to deter that. However, I would never just
like broken hands.
What's that?
Like broken hands.
Exactly. Yeah. Even with jiu-jitsu, like I love competing in jiu-jitsu. Sometimes I've done an MMA fight, and then if I didn't have a fight scheduled for a while, I would do jiu-jitsu tournament. But I would never do a jiu-jitsu tournament 2 weeks before a fight. That wouldn't be smart. So it's kind of the same thing. If I had a long layoff where I knew I couldn't fight for some reason, but maybe I could do a boxing fight. Maybe I had an injury that prevented me from doing MMA, but I could box or jiu-jitsu or something to stay active for sure. So yeah, and then after, whenever I'm done with MMA, I would love to keep competing in jiu-jitsu. I think between jiu-jitsu and boxing, there are things that you can keep going maybe for a little longer than an MMA career, it seems like.
Yeah. Hey, Dana White, looking for a fight. We got one.
Yes.
We got one right here.
Yeah, they were in South Florida recently. But yeah, we've seen who do we see? We saw Jillian Robertson. She did a jiu-jitsu fight. Against Evelyn Martins at one of the local shows, and between UFC fights, I'm like, yeah, that's good. It's good just to keep in the competitive spirit or whatever. We interviewed her after. It's like, yeah, I like this because I'm not getting hit in the face. She wants to fight. She wants to fight UFC, of course.
Oh yeah. If it was up to Jillian, she'd fight every weekend. So
yeah, she's like, it keeps her busy. It keeps her competitive and all that, and and she had a tough opponent there. It was a good fight.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something to keep you busy. But look, if you are, take it from me, when you get to the UFC, not if, when, and everyone else is posting training videos, I want you to go to the nearest pizza shack, and get a big slice of pizza with everything on it. And you don't have to eat it, but you just have to sit there reclining back in your chair, kind of like I am now with that big piece of pizza. Exactly. That's it. And then, a picture like in a bar the next night or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, I'm not training. This girl is not serious,
Exactly.
I'm telling you.
Devour pizza.
It's about the psychology for sure.
Yeah, excellent. So, so Blake said he wants to call in, and he's still tied up, but he wants to call in and just kind of hang out. So,
okay.
Yeah, so we'll give him
text him the link on his phone.
I think I did that already. He's got it. Yeah, just click the link. Just click the link. So what do you do in your spare time, Trisha, when you're not training and fighting?
What's spare time?
I don't know. Do you have any spare time?
Doesn't feel like it, man. Even in quarantine, I don't know. I'm always trying to keep busy. So, but
do you have any sponsors? Do you have any sponsors that you're working with?
I just got a sponsor recently. Shout out to Dragon Dough. I don't know if you guys have seen some of their stuff. I know they sponsored an Invicta fight a while back. A lot of the Invicta fighters are sponsored by Dragon Dough, I saw. So they have a lot of really great MMA apparel, fitness apparel, fitness shorts, MMA rash guards, stuff like that. So so Dragon Dough. And then also I just became a sponsored athlete for a nutrition supplement company. It's called Bomar Nutrition. And I've actually just been a customer of theirs for years. But now I'm really excited to have the opportunity to share it more by being an athlete with them. So.
Yeah, that's the one I think I saw, the Bomar Nutrition. Mm-hmm. They do the protein shakes and the
yes.
yeah. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So, who was just on there? Who just called in, Steve?
That was Balake.
Balaki. Did you ever make fun of Blake? You ever call him Balaki? You remember that? You see that commercial?
No.
Okay.
You didn't see the commercial?
Yeah, he's. He just texted me.
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that was funny. So he tried to call in.
Yeah, he said too much noise around him, so he's not able to talk or whatever. But Trisha, we really appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else you want to say to your fans and your new fans out there that are watching and saying, yeah, this is a cool fighter here that we're going to follow?
Yeah. No, I appreciate all of the support. I really feel the love out there, and I appreciate you guys all hanging in there. You know, I know it's been a long time since I fought. Last year was July, the last time I fought. So hang in there, guys. A couple months more, and I'll be back in action. Hopefully the end of June. Quarantine delayed it a little bit, but we'll be ready to put on a great show. So I appreciate the support, guys.
Let's see a double.
Awesome. And
double hand pump.
Double hand pump?
Double.
Oh.
All right.
Give us the bicep pose. Give us a double bicep pose.
Okay.
Look at these guns.
Look at this.
Look at those guns. I bet you can beat Steve in an arm wrestle.
All right.
Hey, maybe.
We'll have to do that.
I'll bet you the largest size Bomar protein powder thing that they have.
Yes.
I don't care what it costs that you can beat Steve in an arm wrestle. So the next time, when we come out and cover your next event,
we talk about the slap arm wrestle.
No, the regular arm wrestle like that.
Yeah.
Regular arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What
do I get when I win, Matt?
You get nothing. You'll get the protein powder. I told you that's what the bet is.
Yeah.
But I don't think.
That's what the bet is. Okay. I got.
Yeah. So it's a win-win for everyone. So so Trisha's sponsor gets paid, and and you're not going to win anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just like Trisha gets free money.
Nice. Well,
because she'll get to keep the protein.
I'll put on the line a Fighting News T-shirt, women's style for you, tank top.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, you get free clothes for coming on and chatting with us for 48 minutes. That's
yeah,
you get some free clothes.
What size?
Small.
Women's small. You got it. So we're dying to get out there. We're dying to see entertainment. I mean, I want to get in a freaking ring.
I know.
I'll fight. Go ahead. I mean, I got so much anger. I mean,
I'll bet you a case of that protein powder that you can take Steve inside of 30 seconds.
Yes. Hey, I took karate, Matt, and jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So, I'm a little.
Yeah, but that was in the 70s.
It's like riding a bike. You never forget, man.
That's true.
I know the 2-finger poke,
Two cases, Trisha.
All right. So Matt, you want to end the show? You want to keep talking? What do you want to do?
I want to end the show because Trisha's been she's been a great guest here, and very patient. And it's 10 to 9, and I've got some stuff to do. And Blake is still he's gonna. We'll have him on. We'll try and have him on next week because we have a couple other of the fighters that are going to be on XFN on Monday night. Thursday night we have Jim Allers and Kayla Paris who fought in they fought a bloody battle, a bloody war at the last bare knuckle fighting championship
Wow.
10 down there in Fort Lauderdale, and we're gonna all chop it up together. But they're both great guys, so that should be a good show. So tune in for that, Trisha. And
Awesome, I will.
Steve will send you 2 shirts.
Cool.
No, but thanks for coming on.
Thanks for
sharing your story with us, and definitely we wish you all the luck.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay. Good night.
All right.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. Oh, you just cut her off there.
I didn't. She cut it off. So thank you so much, Trisha, for coming on our show. The fighting.